Necessarily the biggest fan of these, but this one I can get behind. His Morning Crew with Rob and Liz, his radio.
What's wrong with Legos?
I don't like them in the middle of the night when you step on them.
Well, put them away. Just tell your kids, put them away.
Okay.
I know, that doesn't really happen
Okay.
like that, does it? No, neither in my house. But now they're doing a whole Home Alone replica for Legos, which is quite amazing. It's the house from the original Home Alone, not the one they're getting ready to put out right now, but the original Home Alone. I mean, they even have the plumbing truck that the Wet Bandits are in.
I was trying to think what they called themselves, the Wet Bandits.
They called themselves the Wet Bandits. Even down all the way to what the basement looks like, the inside of the house looks like. They only have a few characters, so they do have Kevin, of course, and they have the Wet Bandits. They have one other one. I can't remember what it is. But they have the swinging paint cans, the basement furnace that lights up. You know, they got one of the Wet Bandits in the head. Yeah, exactly. Details about every room is just absolutely amazing.
They even have is it Mario's Pizza? I think it is, that Kevin orders like every single night or whatever. And then one of the Wet Bandits, the taller one, there's a head that you put on the little guy, and he's got the iron burn mark in his
that's
face.
awesome.
Like
the iron hit him. That is so. And they got the guy, Old Man Marley, next door.
Oh, that's right.
So those are the four. They got the neighbor, they got the Wet Bandits, they have Kevin, and then they have the inside of the house. They don't have all the other characters because, of course, they're away.
Exactly.
Right?
The family's in France or whatever, but...
no, this one, Home Alone, well, it depends on which Home Alone. But this is the first one, and the first one... I can't remember if they went to Florida or they went to France. They did go to France.
Okay, and
You're
the
right.
second one, they were going to Florida for the brother-in-law and all that good stuff.
That's right. They all just marry together.
I know, but it's a little pricey, like $250.
Yeah,
But
it is a lot of money.
Legos are pricey. When my boys, would ask for the Legos, I was like, oh, wow. Santa's budget just got busted because of the Legos.
Rob and Liz,
His Morning Crew.
They're going through their third name change. You probably didn't know it's their third name change. It's Rob and Liz, His Morning Crew on His Radio. By now, it's possible Facebook is changing their name.
You may have heard that.
And so I didn't know that Facebook was originally not known as Facebook. It was known as The Facebook.
Which is super weird. But if you think about Facebook, that's also weird to me, like where that name came from. I mean, you see faces, but I don't know.
You know, I originally started, right?
It was like a college experiment or something.
It was to connect college kids.
Yes.
Basically. And then it's our face in a book.
Okay.
Facebook, just like a yearbook.
And then it
exploded.
Well,
everybody started using
overnight,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's the thing that it is today. So Zuckerberg is supposed to do something on Thursday. There's this big thing. So they're thinking he might reveal the new name of Facebook then. I'm thinking since, they're going through this whole big name change and they are calling this, the focus on building the metaverse, that they'll call it microscopic. I think that's the new name of Facebook.
Microscopic.
Yeah, microscopic. That's the new name of Facebook. I know what it is. I just did a random word search and microscopic showed up. So that's what it is.
I don't know. So they're trying to get younger people because Facebook has made a turn. Instagram is more for the younger people. And
Well,
Facebook
they own Instagram anyway, so what do they care?
Because they want it all. They want everybody.
Oh, they got them with Instagram, and then they couldn't buy Snapchat. They tried,
right?
And they have the WhatsApp. So hey.
Oh, I think they want the younger people on Facebook as well. They want to get everybody on every social media.
Microscopic. That'll do it.
So why microscopic?
Because I did a random word search and it came up.
Oh, you just pulled the word out of the universe, and that's what.
Kinda, yeah. The metaverse.
Sorry, I got to remember.
I know
that
it's this whole thing.
I don't know. I have no word that would describe what Facebook does. Time waster. There you go.
Rob and Liz,
His Morning Crew.
I need to do something real quick.
Oh, it's rank.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Because evidently I've been doing it wrong.
You're wearing it wrong.
with Rob and Liz, his radio.
Seriously, when you take a look at this later today, Liz Riles on the video replay and on demand at hisradio.com, Roku, and the Apple TV app that we have for His Radio TV. Liz Riles literally just sniffed her armpit.
I got to make sure I'm okay.
I'm sorry you heard that after you ate breakfast. But apparently, and I don't believe any of this. I saw this hack and I went, oh, okay, we've been wearing deodorant wrong. And that's what the hack says. So here's how you're supposed to wear deodorant. I don't believe any of it. Here's what they said. They say, don't apply right after the shower because you're not moisture free. I can get that.
Okay.
At least you have to try. And then the next thing they tell you is don't apply it in the morning.
Huh?
I'm like, what? Instead, they say put it on at night so it will dry overnight. When you wake up and then you take your shower, then you can get some of the residue off. I'm like, why don't you wash the deodorant off of you?
That's exactly it.
And they say don't apply too much because people are putting on too much deodorant. They say just 2 swipes. If it's a stick, 2 swipes and that's it. Not that much in the armpit there. And then they say don't get dressed immediately after applying. Allow it to dry.
That makes sense.
That does make a little bit of sense.
So
Especially, I have to wait, like, I'm wearing a black shirt today.
I was going to just say
and
that.
I put on my deodorant before I put on my shirt. I got these white streaks on my black shirt the rest of the day. I'm like, what did I do? So I have to wait till I put my shirt on, and then I put the deodorant on.
So 2 swipes.
That's what they say. At night, and then wash off the residue in the morning. I don't believe any of that. I would stink all day long if I'd put it on at night.
Well, and okay, 2 swipes. I'm good with 2 swipes for me personally, but there is somebody in my family that must swipe 40 times, and it's like.
So they go through their deodorant pretty quick.
I'm like, oh my goodness, how much do you need? That's all I hear.
Joey?
I'm not gonna say.
Hayden?
I'm not gonna say.
Luke?
I'm not saying.
It's Luke.
No.
It's Luke.
And it's like 100 swipes. It went
Taylor?
from 40 to 100.
Is it Taylor?
No.
No, it's you.
No, I tell
It's
you.
Liz. It's Liz.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So John's mom passed away when he was about 15. It was unexpected. And I mean, boy and his mom. And that just left a big hole in his heart. So mom had this really cool car. It was a 1971 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. It was a convertible. It was green, had white interior. I mean, this thing, he thought it was just one of the coolest cars ever. Well, there was a guy that bought this car from John's dad back in the day. John always, I bet he was a little upset with dad for selling mom's car. So he always wanted to get that car back. He went to the guy who bought the car. Hey, can I buy it back? I'd really like to have my mom's car. And the guy kept saying no, like over and over, year after year, the guy would say no. Eventually, the guy has a change of heart, sells the car back to John. He finally gets the car back after 40 years. He gets this car back. His kids are like teenagers now. They're riding in the car. He's looking through the glove compartment and some different places in the trunk, probably the trunk. He finds mom's sunglasses.
No way.
Yeah, some stamps that she had purchased.
The guy never cleaned out the car?
I think because everything was like in little Ziploc bags. I don't know if mom was that organized and kept everything like that.
No, the Ziploc bags, she's showing me pictures. The Ziploc bags look too new. So he probably, the guy who bought the car probably did that, saved it, and then just put them back in for the guy.
Yeah, which is wild that he kept up, but that he didn't. Why would you keep something like that unless you were planning at some point to give the car back to the guy? But yeah, he found her sunglasses, maps of trips that she had taken. Oh, I mean, that warms my heart just thinking about.
Love that.
Earrings that she had.
It's a time capsule of mom.
It absolutely is. I love this story so much, and I'm so glad that he and his family got this heirloom back. I have a ring that is my great-grandmother's engagement ring and my grandmother's engagement ring that's been made into a different ring. I mean, I would not trade this thing for the world. It has nothing to do with, like, the diamonds, really. It has to do with where it came from. So I totally get you, John.
Yeah, that's cool. You know what? I'm very curious right now for you. What's the story behind the oldest thing that you own? You can call or text 800-447-7234.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Hearing about this guy that was able to buy his mom's car after 40 years and then finding all the stuff that she left in the car still intact makes us think this morning on His Radio. It's Rob and Liz. Good morning. What's the story behind the oldest thing that you own? At 800-447-7234.
So Angela says the oldest thing she has is a plastic ring. It's in a heart-shaped box. She's had it for 19 years, and here's why. She said, my then stinky little 5-year-old brother got it at the school Christmas store for me. She thinks it may have cost him about $1, but he thought of her, and she's always thought it was just so sweet, so she's never parted with it.
Kept it all of these years.
Oh,
I love that.
Yeah, Teresa said, I own a dining table that was owned by my great-great-grandmother. She restored it last year, before and after. She sent us pictures so that we could see it. And she also has a tablecloth that goes on this table that her great-great-aunt crocheted for it.
Nice.
Girl knows how to keep up with some stuff and keep it nice.
Right. Annalie is here at 800-447-7234. What is it for you, Annalie?
My dad was a pastor, and so when he died 2 years ago, we have a collection of all of his sermons. I'm in the process of organizing them and by books of the Bible and everything so I can refer to him. And what's really cool is that they're all in his own handwriting. And his sermons that God gave him is still relevant even years after his death. And we have some DVDs of him preaching. And so my kids that were really little before he died are still able to see him. And that's probably the most precious thing that I have. It's like a little memory that keeps him alive for me and my kids.
When you got your hands on all of these, what were you thinking?
Really excited. I've always helped my dad in his office, like during the week and during the summer when I was out. And I would help him organize the sermons, and I was just really happy because I was able to still see those. And it's like, even he's dead and passed away, he's still with me. And the words that he used to preach, and I grew up hearing him preach, is still with me, and I can still hear his voice and everything. And that's probably the most treasured thing that I have.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I can't even tell you the last time I saw one of these things, much less had one in my possession. His morning crew with Rob and Liz, His Radio.
She's talking about the floppy disk. I have not used a floppy disk at least for 10 years. And I just learned that was the last time they ever really made a floppy disk. Sony was the last production of floppy disks 10 years ago, a decade ago. But yet, they're still around. Mm-hmm. Japan, I was just reading, wants to do away with it because in Japan, they're trying to digitize everything. And so they're phasing out floppy disks, period. But the one thing that they say is that floppy disks are the most reliable. They can store things for a very, very long time.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, you can store stuff on there and they're still there. They don't kind of degrade somewhere.
Then why was the change made? If they're the most reliable, why do we not still use them?
They're big and clunky. I mean, come on, you can't really store a lot of stuff on them.
Wasn't there like a mini disc that you could have used? I mean,
That's audio.
The same process? Okay, see, I'm not a tech girl
audio.
at all.
Mini disc is audio. That's like a small CD.
But couldn't you then take a floppy disk and make it smaller? They can make anything smaller.
They did. Take a look at your computer today.
Well, I'm just, okay.
They call it the USB drive.
That's not a floppy disk.
No, it's not.
It's the same premise. I get what you're saying there, but it's not. But I'm saying make a smaller floppy disk if it's the most reliable.
Oh, they just got to make something that's more reliable.
But they've had a decade to do it and they haven't done it yet.
No, but that's okay.
That's it.
But that's what they're trying to do in Japan is just digitize everything and try to get away from the floppy disk completely.
Wow, I have so much problem with technology. I'm going back to the floppy
Well,
disk.
even Jake said the other job that he has, they use floppy disks.
What?
Yeah, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yes, they still do floppy disk. Granted, it's for like an escape room, but they still have like information, and we still have copies, and we still got to make them, and we
you still
use
load
them.
it the same way. I mean,
pretty much.
My mind is blown.
Yep.
Didn't know anybody was still using the floppy disk.
See? So there you go. Catch up with the time.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
There's a hotel in Middle Tennessee. It's in Kodak, which is kind of near Sevierville, Tennessee, that is in the running for the nicest inn or nicest hotel in the entire country.
Okay, why is that?
It is because the owner, his name is Sean, and last year they had this massive snowstorm that came through and knocked out a lot of power to Middle Tennessee. And evidently he said, you know what, if you are stranded, if you are at your house, you don't have power, or if you're sleeping in your car because you're stuck on the road, you're
You let
traveling.
them stay there?
$25.
For real?
Yeah, for $25 for the
Nice.
room. Not like $25 a person, but $25 for the room.
That was nice of him.
It really was. Really took care of them and people that, were kind of stuck because it was right at Christmas. So a lot of people were traveling.
You know what? I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
Now, it was a really bad blizzard and it shut down a lot of places, including Tennessee, especially that area.
Right.
Because that's near Pigeon Forge and stuff, right? In Gatlinburg, where he is?
Yep.
That's so nice he did that.
It really is nice that he said, they probably took a hit because a lot of people are staying in a lot of hotels about that time of year as they're traveling. And he said, you can stay here. I know it's, it's a money crunch possibly for you, $25 and you can stay here.
So great.
Thank you, Sean, for everything you did at Christmas.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I don't know if you're like this, but some people are. When they get that beverage in their mouth that they really like, they kind of just hold it in there and slosh it around a little bit. Drink it really slow because it just tastes really good, right? It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Others just like down it really quick.
That's me, yeah.
That's you, huh?
Yeah.
You like some soda, like a Coke Zero or something like
I
that,
like
right?
Coke Zero is my jam.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you just like
Yeah,
it's
I'm
done?
not sloshing it around in my mouth. It gets warm and no.
Some people do. If that's, or let's say it's orange juice, okay? And orange juice is the jam. That's the thing for you. It may be not, but for some people, they like the OJ, right? And let's say, okay, if you just want that flavor in your mouth for such a long time, why not brush your teeth with it? And hey, Tropicana just came up with their own toothpaste that tastes like orange juice.
I see this and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me because have you ever brushed your teeth and then went and had a drink of orange juice? It's terrible. Like, have you ever done that?
You're colliding peppermint or whatever the flavor of the
Yes.
toothpaste is with orange juice. That's probably different from what their concoction is. Because their
don't know.
toothpaste is just the taste of OJ.
Right, it is. And Monday you can get it. You have to go on their social media. It's a whole thing. You can't buy it in the store.
Yeah,
which
so
who would?
it's a limited thing.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick.
Right.
Okay, come on. That's
So
what
that-
it is. It's a gimmick.
So that people talk about it, which we are, because I'm just like, ew. Like, why? Who's in your marketing department's going, let's make an orange juice flavored toothpaste?
Oh, somebody might use it.
Yuck. That would be like pumpkin pie flavored toothpaste. That's nasty.
You know what? That kind of